Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And in this video I'm going to be showing you guys all about how to varnish an acrylic painting. Here are the materials that you're going to need. You want to have a clean bowl, clean brush, one that's large enough for your piece, and in this case I'm going to be varnished at 18 by 24 canvas. Here are the two different varnishes that I usually use, but I'm only using one for this tutorial. My spray varnish. Make sure you guys use a mask for this varnish if you decide to use it, and you need to utilize it outside because you have to have lots of ventilation. Shake it up well and spray evenly. Liquitex is the one that I use all year round, and it's mad cold here in the East Coast, so this is the one I'm going to be using, you guys. This doesn't have any odor, so it's safe to use indoors. It's Liquitex Gloss Medium and Varnish. And if you guys are new around here, my name is Danielle. I'm the artist behind Creative Girl of Color. All the materials you're going to need is down in the description box below. If you like this sort of content, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. Okay guys, so I have my brush all ready to go. Brush, bowl in hand. I'm going to open up my varnish. I'm going to pour out enough to kind of cover the my whole painting. So you want to pour out enough to make sure you can cover your whole painting. In this particular painting, I have this is an 18 by 24. And you also want to make sure your brush is big enough to cover your painting. But in this case, I don't have a clean brush that is large enough for this painting. So I'm going to wing it, and I'm going to pray to the varnish gods that everything works out nice and good. For this particular varnish, you can actually add a little bit of water. I think it's about 25 to maybe 30% of water. And I'm going to do that to kind of dilute it. Right? Because unfortunately, this particular varnish, since it is an acrylic varnish, it tends to want to dry in quick, fast, in a hurry. Like, it will literally dry while it is on your painting. And Lord knows, nobody wants that. Nobody wants nothing that's going to be drying in the middle of their painting. So I would definitely, especially for you newbies out there, I would definitely recommend that you guys dilute this down. And you don't want to put too much water, because if you do, you'll break down the chemical compounds of the varnish. So be very careful with that. Only add a few drips, probably, you know, 1 part to, I don't know, 90 parts varnish. You really do not want to have a whole bunch of water in this, right? And I take my clean, dry brush. You want to make sure the surface of your painting is clean and dry. You can take a pledge cloth, or in this particular case, I took a wipe, and I wiped down my painting to make sure there was no dirt and debris on my painting. Before I got started, I am going to kind of mix this around a little bit, since I added a little bit of water. Try not to get too many bubbles in it. Right, and in this case, this has a lot of bubbles, because this will literally, like I said, dry before you can even get it anywhere. Now, there's a method to this. Once you lay this down, once you lay this first layer of acrylic down, you want to be very careful not to go back over that same area, because if you do, it will mar the surface of your painting, mar the surface of the varnish, and this particular varnish is permanent, guys. So since it's permanent, you cannot remove it. So take your time with this. Don't rush through it. It's a method to the madness. You want to go in one sweeping motion in one direction, and you'll see me do that. I'm going to show you that in real time, going in one direction, and then you want to go ahead and let it dry. Maybe I don't know, a couple of hours, and then you can go back over it in the opposite direction. Okay? So I'm gonna take a little bit. You can see the little bit on here, yeah? A little bit. And you want to go quick, because remember, this is an acrylic varnish. Oil varnish, you can take all the time you need, but with acrylic varnish, you want to go very quickly in one direction. A lot of other artists, when they do these type of tutorials, they'll, you know, tell you, oh, it's so easy. You could just boom, 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 boom. No. Okay? This stuff will get real crazy on you, and you want to add a very thin layer to your varnish. Okay? So let's see if I can do this, kind of keep it in the shot. And I'm gonna go this way with it, right over here. And this way. See, it's drying already on me, guys. Don't worry if this is not the way you want it to be, because it will level out over time. Okay? So don't worry if you see streaks and stuff like that. Just try to resist the urge to go back over it. And you want to have those brush strokes kind of overlapping. See, I want to go back over it. See, even I can't resist it. But if you put enough water, you can kind of combat that. You want to overlap your strokes. That's why it's good to use a bigger brush. That way you can get even more of an even situationship. Right? Now, a lot of people ask, what is the reason to varnish your painting? The reason for varnishing a painting is to not only protect your painting, right? I'm trying not to go back over that same section I was already on. So you want to use this not only to protect your piece, but also it protects it from dirt, dust, pollen. If you have kids and they put their little grimy fingers on it and want to get crazy with it, it protects it from the kids and all sorts of things. And it also has UV light, meaning sunshine protection. It will protect your painting for many, many years, to the point that if you happen to get something on your painting, you can just wipe it off. See, now you can see that I'm putting way too much varnish. So don't follow me. You want to do very thin coats. And this stuff will even out. It will prevent you if you leave you a little margin for error if you use thin coats. And it will also bring the luster back in your painting. As you can see, you can start to see the enrichment of color. that's coming back in my piece. And I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's getting streaky because I'm going to have to go back over it, right? And I'm overlapping my brush strokes. And don't worry, all that stuff will level out. Just try not to go back over it. You want to go in that one direction. I'm going to have to go in the opposite direction. And you want to let this dry a couple of hours. And then you can go in the opposite direction. Okay? You want to make sure you're on a level surface. Uh-oh. Try not to get them streaks in there. I mean, those drips. Because those drips will harden. And your whole piece will be a drippy, hardened mess. Okay, and that's that. So you want to let it dry as much as you can over the next hour, or you can even let it dry overnight. And then you're going to take it and do the same order of operations, and you're going to go this way, the opposite direction, this way. And in this particular case, I'm going to let it dry. I'm not going to go that way because I will cause those marring marks. Okay, so I let it dry for about an hour. It is dry to the touch. And I'm going back in a different direction to varnish it once again. The good thing about this particular varnish, you can go over it and over and over and put different layers to it. I added a little more gloss varnish to it because it was a little too diluted for my taste. And when you add too much water, it makes your varnish dull. And I like bling and blow and splash and sparkle, you know what I'm saying? But you can get this in different finishes. If you don't like the glossiness, you can get it in matte and satin and all of that stuff. But I don't like that. I actually love the glossiness to it. And also try to wash out your brush when you're finished, because this can be really damaging for brushes. And invest in a good varnish brush. Now I'm right down to the end, you guys. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will definitely catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.